Hey everybody, how is it going today? I wanted to talk to you about something. I was going to do a brooder video and a grower video. I think just published the brooder video, and I was going to I'm going to put together a grower video. But I just wanted to talk to you about a problem. It's not a problem, it's an opportunity. No, it is a problem that I've been having that is kind of making yeah, I have to take extra precaution for. So the problem that we've been having in our town, this is a town-wide problem. This is not a me problem. Well, it's affecting me, but this is a town-wide problem, and it's rats. Yep, you heard me, rats, not mice, not, yeah, we have field mice and things, and yeah, we deal with the field mice, which is great. I've always dealt with the field mice. The problem I've been having lately is rats. I have been a chicken person for years. I had chicken for about 7 years, and then I did my open heart surgery, and I had to give my chickens away. And now I'm growing my big flock, and then I'm doing the chicks for the quail, so I'm starting in on quail. It's something that I've wanted to do. It's intriguing. But as the summer went along, for growing out my chickens, which are out there, I'm pointing to the chickens, I noticed that something was tunneling under the skirt of that chicken tractor and getting into the basically the chicken run under the roost, the coop roost, and getting into the chicken run. And that happened every night. It didn't happen during the day. It happened every night. I could move the chicken tractor and re-stake it out because it's, it's advertised, oh, it's critter proof. No, it's not critter proof. It's large critter proof, but only if you don't stomp on it. So that's another video. I'll do a review on the chicken tractor. But something was getting in, and so I set my trail cam on the chicken coop at night, and it was rats. And I was pissed because, this whole chicken tractor was supposed to be critter proof, and it's not. Anyways, so I set out, I bought, somebody said, okay, get glue traps and put the glue traps down. You'll catch the critters and it'll be all set. So glue traps and a shovel. Okay. Yeah, they just pushed the glue trap. They swam through the glue traps to get to the chicken coop. And what they're doing, they're burrowing under. And as I had said in my previous video, poultry, what they do is they try to scratch stuff out so they can go to the big kernels of crumble or whatnot, because that's what they can digest, is the bigger kernels and not the smaller kernels aside. So they're pulling out, they're scratching and scratching out the poultry feed so that they can pick and choose what they want. Okay, so, but then the rats were coming in and eating the feed, and that sucked. And no matter what I did, and no matter what I tried, nothing worked. I got snap traps, I got tunnel traps, I got live rat traps. Oh, first of all, I tried the regular critter traps that they have at Tractor Supply. I got the smaller one. And what the rats did was they went in, triggered the trap, ate the bait, and then squiggled out through the bars. So the bars were too large for the rat to stay in, to keep the rat in. So I went online, I bought more snap traps, more I bought a live trap, a live rat trap for rats. I already had mouse traps, and unfortunately, the rats were big enough that they did not fit inside the mouse traps to go get the bait. So you could see that the mouse traps had traveled because the rats trying to get in there. Anyways, so I began baiting my snap traps. A tunnel trap is basically 2 inches of tunnel, the trap, and 2 inches of another a tunnel on the other side, so they can see, they can go across. But when they step on the plate, so, and I know it's cruel, it's terrible. These rats are vicious, and it's not like little rats of Nim and just no, not Disney rats. These things are vicious, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So I started baiting my rat traps with, I put up 2 rat traps per section. So, okay. I don't know if you can hear that. 2 rat traps per thing. So I have panels. I have movable dog panels, so basically you could fence a dog in and out of things. So I put 4 panels down, put it in a square, and I put a panel on top. So cats can't get in, dogs can't get in, anything that we want to, you know, neighborhood cats, they can't get in. But the bars are, so a rat and a mouse and a vole and a mole, those critters that you don't want in your homestead can get in. So I did that, and then put 2 snap traps in per, and I eventually, first I used peanut butter. Now the trap bait of choice is I have bird food, so I crunch up peanut butter and bird food until I get a nice little ball and put that in the trap, and that works wonders, thank goodness. But the first rat that went in, because I put the critter cam on it, the first rat that went in would go in, and I don't know how, he went into one trap and it snapped, and he threw himself backwards, and he threw himself backwards, and I don't know what happened, and the trap, he went into the second trap, but he went in, he didn't go in all the way, I guess, so it went, and so he managed to get out. And that made him learn to avoid the traps. No, don't do that. The second rat, there's a second rat, because I had at least 2 rats and the bunny hopping around. The second rat went in, hit the first trap, it snapped, he somersaulted backwards and head first upside down into the second trap. Okay, good. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to do the loud noise in front of you. But that got him. So, and then it started to be, for me, off to the races. The glue traps never worked. The glue traps got more and more leaf and debris and dirt on it. So, like, even if you put the peanut butter in the middle of it, even if you put the bird seed and the stuff, and you put they would avoid that like the plague. I put them outside the coop. I put them inside the coop. They didn't like any of that. They just avoided that and just went for the bird feed. So I began my quest of trying to rat-proof the chicken coop, and I couldn't, carry it around anymore because I needed the chicken coop to be as rat-proof as possible. And I spent hours and hours and hundreds of dollars, and I put the mesh hardware cloth down to try to extend the skirt and put dirt on top of that, and they just went. Ladies and gentlemen, the egg glue chicken coop, the bars form a 1x3. The lattice is 1x3, and that's plenty of room for a rat to get in. So the rats ended up climbing up, going in, just dropping down, and it didn't matter. The rats were getting in and getting in. And since the whole chicken coop is made up of 1x3 mesh squares, it's just too much. So right now, by the way, I've ordered another chicken coop, a real chicken coop with the right size 1/2-inch mesh. Don't get chicken coop with chicken wire. The chicken wire eventually it rusts, and it comes apart, and you don't want to deal with that. I've had 2 chicken coops so far, but both with the chicken wire, and eventually they all rot out, and you're trying to MacGyver stuff, and things come along that just pull the mesh off. And so get a real chicken coop with the hard wire. I'll get the hard wire, the 1/2-inch by 1/2-inch hard wire. So I've been trying to go and race the rats to the coop at night. So I wait till the chickens go in, and I'm right there, and I'm looking at the chickens, and I'm trying to be quiet, and I'm trying not to have any lights on, not the motion detector light, not the porch light, nothing, so that the chickens will eventually go up into the roost and sit there long enough so that I can run up and close the door to the roost. So basically have the chickens go in, but keep the rats out. Because I've noticed that, I would say like 15 minutes after the chickens have gone in, the rats come out. So hopefully the new coop will solve that. So I'll show you my paver setup. He's making the chicken coop now. It's an investment for this chicken coop, but this chicken coop, if I have gauged it right, will last more than 10 years. So it's an investment. It's good. He's making it rat proof. It's going to stand on top of pavers, which is good. My other 2 chicken coops, they lasted in the dirt, but this one sits on top of pavers. So you have the pavers, just a little bit of soil, and a metal mesh that's 27 inches out. So basically, you do pavers in a big square that the chicken coop sits on top of, and under the pavers buried is that mesh. So when something goes up, they go up to the pavers, they want to dig underneath, they just come up with a metal mesh and they can't get in. So that was a several-day project because I kept having to buy pavers and having to buy topsoil because I needed to level out the area that the pavers went on, and had the little leveler trying to go down and leveling it. So it's kind of level now. So, but then now we're having freezes and thaws. So I have to go out again and see if anything's settled and do another leveling run. But that's going to be in the future. So I have put out 1, 2, 3 squares of that dog pen. Basically it's 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet by 4 feet, and you put one of the panels on top so that cats can't jump in, and neighborhood critters can't jump in, neighborhood pets can't jump in and get trapped or stick their tongue in the rat trap, and so but I've managed to, I mean, it's gotten to the point the rats aren't coming from my yard, they're coming into my yard from other places. But I'm up to, this last week I have caught 10 rats and 2 voles. That's how many are coming into the yard, and they're not coming. I got the original 2, I think, that were new enough to tunnel under the skirt, because I don't think they're getting into the chicken run, but they're certainly attracted to the stuff that the chickens are kicking out of their for their grain. Well, it's great. So, but I am starting to catch rat after rat after rat in the snap traps. And I mean, there was a couple of things, like I had a pinky in the brain moment with 2 rats. I had 1 rat. I caught 2 rats in one trap one day, and I think it's a pinky in the brain thing. Brain was leaning in the tunnel, leaning over to lick. Start in on the peanut butter. The brain was doing that, and Pinky ran up and went, "What you doing?" Wham! Slam! So I had 2 rats in one trap one day, and just stuff like that, dumb stuff like that. I had 1 rat in the live trap. Wow, yeah, rats are vicious, and they're vicious. He was stuck in the trap. My dog went up to the trap, and it was just bam, bam. It was just face first, trying to attack my dog. And I went up to it, and it's bam, and it was screaming bloody murder. It was trying to attack me. I was like, wow, that's yeah, that's not a nice little rats of Nim with Mrs. Brisby and all. Oh, that was bad. And a rat in a cage, yeah, that, oh man, that's horrible. That rat was, it would have attacked, and it would have bit, and it would have been horrible to try to defend myself against that. So and then I had to take care of it. So yeah, you can't let them go. You cannot let them go. You cannot let them go about, oh, I just traveled a few miles. Well, let me tell you that story goes into this story. One story that I have to report, or one report that I have to report, is that whole rat problem is a town-wide rat problem. It's a town-wide rat problem. They started at the mall, and then they just kept on multiplying at the mall, that they started showing up in town. And I would say in the middle of town. The middle of town's about a mile from the mall, down a street, very poor street, economically challenged street. How about that? And they just migrated to the center of town, and now what they're doing is they're trying to find food, and they're migrating all over town to try to find food. Well, I'm not going to blame it on people that have compost piles, but every time I walk, I see compost pile after compost pile, and the people have been done their due diligence for the environment. So they take their kitchen scraps and they walk out to their compost pile and they dump them on top of the compost pile, and they walk in the house thinking that the next time they come out, oh look, it's all composted in. No, that's where the rats. You're feeding the rats. My grandparents used to go out to their compost pile with a shovel and just basically, the shovel's about 11 inches, the actual shovel. So they just dig down 11 or 12 inches, then put their kitchen scraps and then bury them that way so that you don't get the rats and the possums and the squirrels and the raccoons just visiting your house and growing fatter. I don't think the people in town understand that. I don't think a lot of Americans understand that. Don't do that because this will be a problem. And so I don't want to be a Pied Piper or anything, but I think between me and the neighbor across the street that has a chicken coop, he's put out traps as well. And my next door neighbor, I don't know if he's put out traps, but he's aware of the problem. At least between me and my next door neighbor, I think we've taken care of the rats in our immediate vicinity, but the problem is the rats, I go a few nights, 1 or 2 nights with no rats, and then all of a sudden in the morning I find the traps are all, all activated. Traps activate. So that's how I get about almost a dozen a week at this point. Nothing, and then the new rats migrate into a rat-free area, and then they come into contact. They come into contact with the traps. So a friend of mine online says do the sticky traps and a shovel. For that, my rats tend to avoid the sticky traps. Maybe I have to put out like 2 dozen sticky traps in one huge pad to see what they do, but so far they were coming out from underneath. They were traveling up from the neighbors, going under my deck, coming up underneath my deck, and going out under my steps. And so I put rat traps right there, and they were just pushed aside. They were still there. But yeah, there was a lot of consternation, and I'm still nervous about it. So my mitigation is to keep the grain. I have a grain bin here. I have a sealed grain bin for a grain bin here for the quail. I'm sorry. I'll show you my setup in a bit. It's a trash can with a lid, and it's something that they can't get up into. They can't bite through. What rats will do is if they get up into the eggs, they'll eat the eggs. I don't think they will eat chickens, but I think they'll nibble on their feet while the chickens sleep, and that's a horrible thing. So my big thing is to protect the chickens by getting the food out of there and keeping any food that they might have restricted to snap traps. Snap traps. So they go to the snap traps because there isn't really anything smelly to eat. And so I have another bin it's more of a square. I forget what it's called, I'm sorry. It is a square grain bin that is, I got it from Chewy. I got it from Chewy. It's more for pets, but I'll have to look up the name. It escapes me. But it's like a 50-pound or an 80-pound container that has a screw-on lid that just keeps all the critters out of the grain. Because my big fear is especially with Mom, and she's bedbound and whatnot, is that a rat gets in here and propagates, or multiple rats get in. So even though I knock on wood, right, quick. All right, good. That bad critters get in here. I know we have mice. I have the mice traps out. It's not like an influx of mice. It's like a stray field mouse gets in and goes into one of the traps, and that's it. But that's what I have for the inside issue. I don't want the outside issue coming in to be an inside issue. And I know that rats will chew through like plastic and bags and whatnot, and field mice will do the same. So I've ordered online, I've ordered basically containers for to solve this problem. So even if they get in, they're not going to encounter anything. Down in my pantry, I have cans, and then I have more of those bins that are basically operate kind of like this trash can. So basically, you put stuff in, you put the lid on, nothing can get in. It is too tough for mice to chew through, rats to chew through. It is tough. So, and they survived the flood, which is a good thing. So that's what I have at this point. I'm sorry, this is a 20-minute long video, but let me get this out and published. There's my rat story. It's ongoing. It's continuing. I don't think there's going to be a solution in solving for X other than keep everything that they could eat out of sight, out of everything, out of reach for them, except for what's in the bait that goes in the trap. And I will continue to see an influx of rats from other parts of town, other streets or whatnot, coming into the yard looking for additional food, because rats are breeders. They just breed like crazy, and you can't really solve it unless the whole town, unless the whole community concentrates on solving this problem. And I know there are enough apartment blocks and apartment buildings and rentals and whatnot that people just don't care. If it's out of the house, it's out of mind. So they'll just throw all the plastic, the plastic sacks of garbage into the dumpster, and the rats will get in and then just eat and then multiply. So this is going to be a long-term solution. I'll keep you appraised of what's going on, but that's the issue I have at the moment. But there we go. Okay, well, I hope this finds you well. The quail are in the back, growing like crazy. So I just thought that that would be a good background so that you could just have something else to look at. Okay, thank you for listening to me. Wish me luck on the rats. Okay, talk to you about more in the grower in the next video. All right, have a good one. Take care. Bye.